That's the music of up-and-coming Detroiter Architect. And the reason that we're playing that right now is because that might be the soundtrack to some dance competitions you might be taking a look at around town, around the neighborhood, whatever you're seeing. But the Detroit JIT, very popular these days. A couple guys with us in the studio right now. We have Halim Rasool, who's the owner of Hardcore Detroit Dance Crew, and Munch Turner, one of the dancers with Hardcore Detroit. Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for coming on the show.
Good morning. Good morning. What up, though, to Detroit?
That's right. Now, tell me a little bit about what's going on with Hardcore Detroit and the Detroit JIT, because, you know, I've seen this around and, you know, watching the YouTube. It's all over YouTube. People checking this out. This thing seems to be sort of a sweeping the nation a little bit.
It is sweeping the nation, but the thing is, this is an older dance. This dance been around since the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So we just trying to keep that awareness to people, let them know this is something Detroit has created. And, you know, we traveling internationally, doing workshops and letting people know that, you know, the techno music had a dance with it.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people know that there was, you know, a dance associated with it. Mm-hmm. And the best you can, because this is radio, obviously, so you can't show us. Right. Explain the kind of movements that you were seeing with the JIT.
It's like 98% footwork, you know, intricate shuffles, shapes, you know, and it's also complemented with arm work, you know, foot and hand combinations. We got drops, bisco, freak moves, throwback moves, you know what I'm saying? Male dancing, we got the hip roll. We are the creators of the hip roll. Aaliyah put it out there, you know, other people, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot to do with the dance. It's got structure, foundation, you know what I'm saying? And it's relatively to a fast-paced music such as techno.
Yeah, and that's the fast-paced thing, I think, is what, you know, sort of shocked me the most, is just how much stuff is going on when you're doing this, Munch. I mean, tell me a little bit about performing the dance. It's exhausting.
Very much so. It's exhausting, but after you've done it for so long, it becomes a natural thing. With the JIT, actually, like Halim was touching on, it's a lot of combinations, and it's a lot of footwork. It's a lot of structure. It's a lot of styling. Mm-hmm. Basically, anyone who really knows the art and the theory of dance, you have to actually be a slave to the rhythm. And when I say a slave to the rhythm, basically you coordinate your movement with the sound of the beat. So if you hear like a high keyboard, you might want to adjust your foot or your arm movement with that, so that everything seems to be on one accord.
Well, Halim, you know, the name Detroit JIT, I mean, the word JIT, obviously you start thinking jitterbug, and right. some of the foot moves that are in there look like they might even go back that far.
Actually, it does. It has a lot of roots inside the jitterbug shuffle. You know, the six-step shuffle is one of the first shuffles, and we've just kind of branched off with high kicks, feet tapping, drops, you know what I'm saying, just floor work, you know what I'm saying? And then also the Earl Flynn, we can't forget the Earl Flynn, you know?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's just a compliment where the hands, you know, a lot of hand movements. Earl Flynn's was a popular gang back in that time, and they had their own dance, and it just kind of like spread it, you know?
Talk a little bit about, you know, having a city has its own sort of dance style. I mean, obviously, crumping was pretty big out on the West Coast there for a while. They made movies out of this kind of stuff. Is the JIT something that we're going to start seeing the same sort of thing? We'll see dance movies and things like that coming out?
Absolutely.
Taking a look at it?
That's what we're in formation of putting into effect. We're basically, right about now, we're taking time to make ourselves marketable, to make this actual JIT plateau on a universal level. Other cities, they had their dances that they invented, you know, the popping and locking thing. You also had New York with the breaking. At this time, Detroit was doing their own thing as well. Like he touched on, we were doing actual Earl Flynn moves. We were doing popping, which was considered the shake. We had a lot of
funketeering.
We had funketeering. And we had a lot of diverse dancers, and we had a show called The Scene, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the cornerstone to a lot of Detroit's versatility in terms of dancing. So this was something that we didn't just only do, but we did it with a passion. And that's what we're trying to bring back into the forefront, the passionate aspect of it.
Well, you know, there used to be shows. You talk about the scene, then the new dance show came along. That was on Channel 62 for a long time as well. But there doesn't seem to be that much of that anymore on television. I mean, Soul Train's still on and things like that, but are we missing something a little bit?
Actually, they're trying to do something right now. A couple of my dancers are a part of. It's called the D Party. You know, it comes on Channel 4 at 4. You know what I'm saying? Give them a quick plug. But, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to come back and revisit. They got a little JIT spot on there where, you know, jitters from Detroit get to showcase. You know what I'm saying? So look out for that. You know what I'm saying? But to kind of touch back on the movie, you know, there is a movie. It's going to be called Footwork. Gabrielle Jones, the producer. I already have a script, and it's, you know what I'm saying, it's about to be in production. You know, right now we're just looking for more funding. I am associate producer for it and also a dance coordinator for it. So that movie is coming out. It's going to highlight the JIT and all sorts of Midwest footwork styles, you know, like the juke or house dancing.
And now the juke, that's out of Chicago, right?
Out of Chicago.
Yeah, so I mean, it's probably a pretty good dance, but you guys obviously think that what you got going on here is a little better, right?
Of course.
Talk about that competition, that sort of rivalry that's out there. I mean, you know, this is a point of pride, obviously, that you can do this. This is ours, and you know, we can do it better than you can, and our dance is cooler than yours. Is there like a pretty intense rivalry going on?
Yeah, it's a rivalry. It's intense, but you know what I'm saying, it's cordial at the same time. Actually, recently, last February, we had a battle where we got Chicago Jukers versus Detroit Jitters, and that went really well at St. Andrews Hall. I mean, it was off the hook. High energy. I mean, we did this on just the GP of who created the dance. You know what I'm saying? So, gotta pick up that DVD. You know, it's in your local you know, stores. So check that out. But of course, we represented this. You know, they doing what they do. We're not trying to take away from their dance, and you know, it's just a friendly rivalry that's going to bring up Midwest in general.
Well, you know, a lot of this stuff goes on, you know, not necessarily in a club or something like that. It may just go on a street corner somewhere where some people gather and just hanging out, having fun. How do you find these guys that are good enough to be part of Hardcore Detroit? And you know, do they come to you, or do you got to go out looking, scouting for them?
Actually, they're coming to me, you know what I'm saying? But we got a rigorous process.
Yeah?
You know what I'm saying? We make our people battle, you know, to get in. Also, it has a lot to do with professionalism. You know, we're a professional crew. I mean, we had contracts with the DIA. We did the Pistons. We just did the fireworks this past year. So we got a strenuous resume, and basically we're looking for talent, diversity, things like that.
Well, we'll talk about the talent in this town. Got to be a lot of kids out there that can dance pretty well here.
This is absolutely true. The D has a lot of dancing prodigies, and what we're doing is we're actually taking pride in scouting and looking for those prodigies so that we could bring it all to the universal aspect of a viewing. Mm-hmm. We see a lot of great dancers, and there are a lot of people blessed with the gift to dance. What we're looking for is individuals who are compassionate about what they do, the discipline, the integrity of it. And we think that this is what's going to make longevity versus just somebody who's doing it for temporary satisfaction.
Yeah, like a trend or something.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll talk about you know, the positive impact that this has on some of these folks that really get heavily involved in it and make this something that they want to do and have that passion for it.
Number one would be discipline. You know, we need discipline. Also, it's good for the body. You know what I'm saying? It's a balance. You know, a hard day's work, you know what I'm saying, you can come and just, you know, release, you know, a lot of tension and stress.
Absolutely.
Put your energy into something, you know what I'm saying, that's going to help you out physically, mentally, you know, and then also, at the end of the day, you can make some money from it.
Well, I'd like to thank Halim Rasool, owner of Hardcore Detroit Dance Crew, and Munch Turner, one of the dancers with Hardcore Detroit, for coming on the program. Tell us a little bit about the Detroit JIT.